It's the day that the Lord has made. Things seem like the top down. Oh, there's nothing wrong with living right now. So it's not wasting another day.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to You Know the Vibes. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Today, I just want to talk about this song called For My Good by Maverick City Music or Maverick City Music. I feel like I'm always saying that wrong. I just want to talk about, first of all, how much I love this song. If you have not heard this song, please go listen to this song, because this song will give you just so much like faith and just so much reassurance that God is working things out for your good. And like, we need the bad times in our life, and I have to remind myself this all the time, and that's why I get on here and I talk about this a lot. I feel like it's because I feel like we constantly need these reminders that even in the bad times in our life, like, it's a part of our testimony. It's a part of what is needed to tell our story. I don't know if y'all have watched Inside Out 2, right? I'm just gonna use this as an example because on Inside Out 2, there's a part, I'm just gonna say it's not really a spoiler, where they get rid of like the bad memories. They make this machine and they get rid of the really bad, like, cringy moments and the sad moments, right? And when they were throwing these things, putting them to the back of her mind, right? They put them to the back of Riley's mind in the movie. You gotta watch it if you haven't. As soon as they did it, I was like, wait, why are they doing that? Like, in my head, I'm like, they need those. Like, that's needed. Like, even the bad stuff is needed. Like, I knew that in my spirit. And in the end of the movie, you know, they come to that realization. I'm not going to do the whole spoiler alert. But even the bad stuff is needed, y'all. That is what makes us us, right? That is what molds us and informs us to be the person that we are today. You know, we learn from our mistakes. Like, if we forget all these memories and the bad things, you know, even if it's trauma or something bad, like, we won't learn our lessons from it. We won't know our triggers from a situation, you know, if we just get rid of it or forget it. Like, we need to know these things so we can grow and evolve, you know, and become the healed version of ourselves. So yeah, that's the main thing I want to say about that. There's this lyric in the song that says, when I should have lost my mind, you showed up just in time and carried me through the valley onto the other side. I felt that in so many different ways, because if you guys don't know, like, I literally lost my mind. And it says, when I should have lost my mind, you showed up right on time. So as you can imagine, that verse hit me like a ton of bricks. And I listen to this song and I be just crying, y'all. Like, the spirit is flowing in that song, in a lot of their songs. That's why, like, worship is such a beautiful thing. Like, I just love worship music because it brings out all of the emotions. I remember when I used to be younger, like, if I was going through something, y'all, I would play some sad emotional songs and make myself cry. Like, that is just so cringe. But it's just crazy that, like, I never, like, knew that one day I would just be such, like, in love with God, and I'll be listening to these songs and just crying. Like, the spirit would just have me crying. Like, now I know, like, a part of me being such an emotional person, it's just a part of who I am. But it's crazy to see in this aspect. Like, it's one thing to be in, like, the aspect that it was back then, but to be in this aspect of, like, the love of the Lord, and just, like, and love and awe and goodness and gratefulness of what he's brought me through. And that's what the tears are usually from when I'm crying to these worship songs. It's just crazy. But before, I'm moping about, like, these little life problems, because I was just so young most of the time when I made myself cry to songs. I don't know if y'all ever used to do that, but to me, like, looking back on how I used to do that, I'm just like, bruh, you're cringe for that. But it's okay. So I was just writing, I was like, God never leaves us. The hard times are what molds us and makes us stronger. He works it all out for our good. He never leaves us, even when we feel lost and alone. If you just have, like, faith, like, God will always come and rescue you through anything you're going through. Just keep faith, literally call to him, but you have to literally seek him with all your heart. He knows your heart. If you call on God to have an encounter with God, I truly believe he will show up. He may not show up in that very moment, but he's going to show up exactly when you need him. That's the best part about it. Because we might think it's in that very moment that we call on him that he shows up, but it might be the next week or whatever, you know, that we really needed him. And it was like a significant time that it's just going to, like, be the greatest testimony. I also wrote here that true faith is worshiping him and thanking him in the darkness. So even when we're in our darkest season, like, I feel like true faith, you know, it's easy to worship him and all that stuff when we're doing good and we're having, you know, reaping all these blessings and benefits and living in the gold years of our life or whatever, but it's just like, love God enough that you still in the darkness are able to worship him and thank him for all the things that you do have. Because like I always say, there's people in this world that look at you and you have so many things that they're praying for and they've never had. So just always remember, somebody's struggling more than you are. I have to do this as well. If you guys haven't like watched my mental health testimony, definitely check it out. But I like struggle with things still to this day. I feel like we all will, no matter what. You know, the word says we'll have trials and tribulations, and it just builds us and makes us stronger and builds character and all that good stuff. But I just get reminded, like God reminds me, like even though I might not be in the best scenario that I wish that I could be in right now, you know, we always want more. We always wish for more, right? And he knows that. But just know that he will be faithful, and just know that you were in a worse time once upon a time. Like I said it before, you know, think about a time where you were way worse off, and just think about how much he brought you through. And that past testimony should be able to be what helps you get through, you know, the moment that you're in now, knowing that he was faithful before and he will continue to be faithful. Have faith and believe and ask, and he will deliver, because that's what God does. Don't put God in a box, y'all. Don't think that he can't do certain things, so you put him in this box because you feel like he's limited. He is not limited. God can do all things and anything, and he will deliver. If it's in his will and in his timing, he will deliver. So just keep the faith. Listen to that whole song, y'all, because he's working it all out for our good. And that's just the best part about everything. Like when you're in a dark season, just instead of saying like, why am I going through this? Try to remember to ask God, what are you trying to show me in this season? I've had to ask him that a lot throughout the last year or two. What are you trying to show me in this season? And when you're in seasons like this is when you really should just rest in him, y'all. Like sometimes, like if there's not a command or something you should be doing at the moment, God hasn't given you a word or told you, you know, do this, do that. Sometimes it's just resting in his presence is what he wants you to do. So I'm going to close with this. Something that I wrote like last night. And it's crazy because then I opened up my journal and then I found a journal entry that literally said something so similar. I was just doing this thing where in my spiritual journal where I log my progress, and I suggest all y'all to do a journal. It is so helpful. But I like flipped, just did it 3 times. And it was just so crazy just to read some of this stuff. I'm going to go to that entry. So I'm going to tell y'all what I wrote. And then I'm going to go back and read what page I flipped to and how it just aligned with each other. But I wrote here, think about a time where you felt it was all over, but then it wasn't. That was God whispering a glimpse of hope into your ear and allowing it to seep into your heart. Although we can't physically see him, he was always there in so many ways. We just have to open our minds and most of all our hearts. When everyone else leaves, God is still there. He never leaves you nor forsakes you. He loves you unconditionally. I'm not sure if anyone else can love you like he loves you. So that is what I wrote last night. And then I'm going to tell you guys, I flipped in my journal. That wasn't even my journal. That was a different journal I wrote in. I flipped in my journal to like a random page and I came across this entry. In this entry, towards the end of this entry, this is what I wrote. When you start to feel like you're just going through the motions, when you barely have the strength to get through the motions, just know God is always by our side. We may not be able to physically see him, but if we sit and wait in silence, you can feel him. Imagine him wrapping his arms around your shoulders, holding you close, telling you that everything will be okay. Just trust the process. And I wrote that a year ago, January 13th, a year and a half ago, January 13th, 2023. It's just crazy because like I didn't go searching for that. And that was right after I wrote that little entry. So it was just like kind of like just even more confirmation for me that like God literally, he just be waiting on us. I seen this meme before, y'all, where it was just like it's God like sitting at a table waiting on us. Like, you know, we playing something with God. It's like the times we're supposed to like pray and spend time with God. Just imagine you standing your friend up and like you never meet up with them for lunch or dinner or whatever. And it's just kind of sad. That is a relationship, y'all. So just like you put all that energy into your friendships, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your kids, your whoever, your cousins, your besties, whatever. Like just realize that God, that's a relationship too. So as much energy as you put into all that, you should be putting either more energy into your relationship with God. And I'm preaching to myself too, y'all. I'm not perfect. I'm working on this as well. Trying to make sure I bring God into everything that I do. So, and put him first. So that's going to wrap it up. I hope and pray that y'all have a blessed day. Thank y'all for all the love and support. Make sure y'all comment in the chat however y'all feeling. You know, add on to this. Y'all have a blessed day. Share it to a friend that you feel like needs this message as well, y'all. Thank y'all for y'all time, support, and all that. Love y'all. Have a blessed day. Bye.
It's the day that the Lord has made. Nothing to see like a top down.